Morning, everybody. So I've got a special guest here with me today. For those of you who don't know, I'm Matt. I'm the vicar at St Matthew's. This is my wife, Jess.
Hi.
And we've been just talking a bit about how lockdown has changed as we've gone through the various weeks. I know for me, to begin with, it was just a case of reacting and responding and just adapting to what was happening around me. And in the last kind of 2 or 3 weeks, I've found myself moving towards being kind of more wanting to plan and prepare and to really make the most of the opportunities that this strange season is bringing, and wanting to be really kind of proactive in making some choices in how I engage with all of this. And I know, Jess, you've been finding the same sort of thing going on for you. How did you kind of begin responding to lockdown?
Yeah, I mean, in many ways, lockdown has been a pleasant experience, I guess. We've had our family unit here. We've been in the garden lots. We home ed, so there's not been a great shift in that for us. We're used to being at home as a unit, and there's been a lot of it that's been really nice. But I guess in that sense of crisis that we all felt right at the beginning, there's a choice, isn't there, of fight or flight, but actually there's a third one, which is kind of freeze. And I didn't know who to fight or how to fight, because there was just such a huge amount of information, and there's nowhere to run. So I think I kind of froze a little bit, and in the sense that I introverted. Those of you that know me, I'm not very introverted, but I introverted and went into self-preservation mode or family unit preservation mode, and just shut down a little bit from too much outside, so it seemed okay, but that's not something that settled well as we've carried on through.
So what started to shift for you now then?
I guess a few things have shifted. One is I massively reduced my use of social media, and took away that false sense of connection that social media gives. And then with the Black Lives Matter really coming to the fore in the last few weeks, I sort of I didn't know how to react or respond, but I knew that there was people in my family who were hurting, and that I hadn't really ever spoken to them about it. And so church family, yeah. And I kind of had this sense of, I don't know how to help or be part of change, but I can speak to my family and friends. And so I picked up the phone, and it was pretty much the first time I'd done that in lockdown, and started having some conversations, and it was like doors opening. It was fantastic, sort of feeling like I'm actually having meaningful connection with the family that I love, the church family that I miss, and that really kind of pushed me into doing something different. And as soon as that happened, I've wanted more. I want to reconnect, and I want to fight for my church family.
You were talking a bit about life group as well, and how you found that during lockdown.
Yeah, so I lead a life group on a Wednesday, and it has been really tough. The first few weeks were painful, with Zoom and video calling and trying to work out how that would work. I don't like video calls at all. One of the big things that's changed was the fact that I picked up a telephone rather than went to a video call, and found that a far better way to make sense of what the conversation I was having was. But we have persevered. My life group are amazing, and we've got better at Zoom. And we also realised that for that group, having a very purposeful, structured session has been better. So we've got into some Bible study, and it's been brilliant. It's really made a difference. And I know that's the group as a whole have had different experiences of that. And not everyone has managed to engage. So the next step now is working out how we reconnect in those who haven't managed to move into using Zoom and things.
So what is it you're realising then? What's the thing that's kind of shifting for you?
Yeah, I guess one of the things is I recognise the importance of those small little interactions that we have. I guess the key thing was a member of our church family who I see maybe 3-4 times a week in normal circumstances, pass the time, check how they're doing. I love them to pieces and I can call them my friend, and I realised that I'd never had a more meaningful conversation than about the weather or the service, and they were one of the people I picked up the phone to, and I had just the most lovely conversation for half an hour, and I found out things I didn't know about them, and we shared, and it was lovely. And it's not that those little conversations aren't important, they're crucial, and I think they're one of the things that this season doesn't allow for, unless there's a way I haven't worked out yet, but it feels like they're the bit we can't quite recreate any other way or grasp, so they are important, but maybe I relied a bit too much on them, a bit too much on them to think that I was connected to people. And actually maybe something we can do proactively, I guess, in this season is to actually build much deeper relationships, to pick up the phone, to have a conversation with someone who we wouldn't perhaps have first thought of. And maybe the other side of this, I will know those people even better than I would have if I was continuing to see them day in, day out. I really miss those moments. I really miss the hugs at the start of church, and the end and during. But I could perhaps get something that's even deeper, relationships that are even more. I think that's something I'm hoping for and excited about.
And it, you know, and it started. It's interesting. It started the moment you picked up the phone and just initiated some of those conversations with people. I think one of the things the shift I've realised is going from just reacting to things to, well, actually, let's be proactive. Let's make some choices, and actually we can wait for community to kind of come back to us in some kind of, we're allowed to meet together or whatever. We still don't know when that will be, or we can be proactive and pick up the phone and turn up to life group even though we're not a huge fan of Zoom.
Absolutely. And I wasn't under any illusion, I don't think, that lockdown was going to be a short thing. I think since week one I'd been gearing up for it to be a really long thing, and I kind of was willing to wait it out, I guess. Our circumstances meant that actually there's a lot of nice about it, and so long as I protect us, put our heads down, I could wait it out and we'd emerge the other side of it in whatever that was. And I kind of am not willing to settle for that anymore. I've got a bit of a fight in my belly, I think, and I think I want to fight for our church family and community, and the only way I can do that is to be proactive, and it's something that we can all do. Every one of us can pick up the phone or write a note. And I think that it is that sense of not willing to wait it out, but fight for the family, I guess, so that we come out of this, the other side, closer and stronger, and that we haven't just dissipated away.
Be good for us to pray. Is there anything else that you haven't shared that you thought you might?
I don't think so.
No. Great. Let's pray then, shall we?
Pray. Father God, I thank you so much for the family that you have brought together at St. Matt's. I thank you that it's a welcoming and friendly and cheerful place to be. And I pray, Father God, that you would show us how to fight for that family, how to choose each day to bring that family closer together. I pray that on the other side of lockdown, we will emerge with relationships that are so much deeper, that we will be so much more connected, even though right now it feels like we're so disconnected. Thank you for the technology that you've given us, and all the things that enables us to do, and help us to work out wisely what things we pick up and what things we put down in terms of that. But Father God, most of all, I just pray that you would build the family that you are building in St Matthew's, and thank you for it. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow morning.